All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing Friday morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday with such a beautiful watch list that we had. Good morning, Norm, and we
Good morning,
hope.
Carlos. I'm having a audio problem. Give me a moment.
Oh, you are okay. We'll give you a second. I was just gonna say we hope that your little one is feeling a lot better. We know he's been sick for the last couple of days, so hopefully he's on the over the hump there and getting better. So, all right, guys. Well, Norm fixes that issue. Let's get into the watch list from yesterday. So here we had our list. We had quite a bit on there. Where's my pen? Let's get it going here. All right. So here's my there's the pen. Let's get so here. By the way, guys, this is Epic Pen, free software, very nice. If you go to just Google Epic Pen, I think it's Epic Dash Pen, and man, a lot of great features. It's just amazing the way it is. To be a free software, it's really nice. So if you're wondering what we use, this is it here. So here is our watch list for yesterday. This was my main watch list, and I had some possibles down here as well. And then LUV became active later in the day, but I did not trade that one. So let's start with Cara. So Cara here, this one was active, good pre-market action, but then at the open just kind of chopped around here. It became a good short after 30 minutes or so of just pure choppiness here. If you look at the one again, also not clean. Also the volume dropped a bit. So I was watching this one closely. I was looking more for a pop because I did not have shares for short yesterday. Once it started losing the VWAP, I lost interest, of course, in this one and just didn't watch it. But if you did have shares for short, once it started losing this VWAP here, you have your range right in here. If you're using your wick, this is your opening range. Once it starts losing this, it could be a good possibility for short on the opening range breakout. Now we know, I'm sorry, opening range breakdown. You know the ORBs, they can happen up to an hour. You can look for that strategy. This one happens about actually just right around an hour, starts losing it. Becomes a beautiful drop, hits the low of the pre-market, this level we had here, 23.46, and then heads down all the way very close to this level we had, 22.66. Doesn't quite get to it. But again, close enough for you to put that as a risk to reward target. We talked about risk to reward yesterday in our class 5 risk management. So we talked about risk to reward probabilities and things of that nature. Also, I want to show you something, right? So yesterday we had our high of the pre-market, which was here, 24.58. And then we went up back to the daily chart. Remember, I don't know if you recall, but we went back to the daily chart and we found this level here that we wanted to mark down. Right, aside from the high of the pre-market at 24.58, this level was great. Why? Because we had an area here of resistance, area here of support. So we also had this nice drop area of support. So we marked that down. Now let's see how that played out yesterday, right? When we go back into our daily chart here, you can clearly see 24.26. We hits it right on the dot before on the way up, and then it rejects that, then it comes back down. So again, these levels, people are watching these levels. That's why we marked that on there. You can see how that level is reacting to the price action. So Cara again didn't trade too clean, but had a nice sell-off. TAL was another one we had on our list. This one was a beautiful drop here. I did not catch this one, but just look at this amazing opening range breakout breakdown. So you have your opening range here. You could have traded both ways. Some people do the body, other people do the wicks. Either way you did the breakout, you can see here a great entry on the VWAP. And then you can see this, it's just amazing drop, you know, passing all these levels, heading, we had a level at 33.25, blows right by that, heads down to 32.45. What you don't want to do here is chase, right? This is a big drop already. At any minute, you can get a pullback that can put you in a bad situation. Wait for the pullback, right? And then decide if you have a good risk to reward to take it for short. Obviously here, not a great risk to reward, because if you're going short here, here's your VWAP and here's your possible area of a bounce. That's 1-to-1. You don't want to go in that trade. So that's what we had on TAL. Also, keep in mind that a lot of stocks sold off yesterday, except BMY. Now, this is the one I traded yesterday. It had a beautiful setup. The previous day close was sitting here in this area here yesterday. Well, actually, right where the red line is. So once it started hitting higher here and it looked like it was going to do a possible breakout, it came above the VWAP. I went long here, and then we got this amazing crack towards the top, just heading higher and higher. I definitely got out way too early. My entry was here. By the time I got to this point, I was already all out of the position. I was expecting a big pullback that never came. I was expecting a pullback I didn't want to be part of, and it just never came. And look at this, just again, just a nice little continuation here move. Also, Kurt, I believe, also took a trade here right after consolidation. He waited for the consolidation. He's a trend trader, so he waited for it to hit the moving average, got in for long, and took advantage of this pop as well. So again, just a beautiful trade on BMY, very strong. And while this was happening, the SPY was selling off. The SPY opened up and it just kind of tanked, started heading towards the bottom. And you can see that on some of these trades like TAL, right, dropping here. You can see Save was another one that also started dropping as well. Beautiful open range breakout. Breakdown, excuse me. Here's your opening range, entry here, nice breakdown all the way to these levels. So that's also another one that traded well. And look how our levels right from yesterday, 46.02, right? You can see it comes back and tests that here after it bounces from 44.18. Comes right back down at 44.18. It loses that, hits down to 42.93. So again, these levels on the daily chart are playing really nice. PTCL, another one that was a nice one. I took the short here. Beautiful opening range breakdown. I love the pullback here, was perfect. And then here's the drop. You get this beautiful drop all the way down here. Another one I also got out way too early just because the way I partial out. But that's okay. Turned out to be a great trade, and a lot of you guys got into this trade as well. So excellent job there. PayPal was another one. Again, just a great stocks yesterday, moving quite a bit. Andrew got in on this one. He got in for a short on the pullback, drops nicely, and just continues to head lower and lower. And then once it was too extended, he did the same thing, right? He just got completely out because you don't want to wait for the pullback. And by the time you're partialing out, what the little bit you have left sometimes might not make sense to hold for a pullback. So you got to analyze your trade, analyze how much precision you have left, how extending you are from your entry. And sometimes it might make sense not to hold for this consolidation with the little bit you have left. And then get caught in a squeeze back up, giving profits back. Okay, so again, just a lot of great trades, guys. You also took a bunch of nice trades as well. So again, just one of those days where the stock market was had a very nice open. Facebook here was possible. We had nice engulfing cracks. A great example here, guys. You see pops up, the next candle completely engulfs the previous ones, becomes a beautiful short, cracks the low of the day, cracks its moving average, and then heads lower towards these levels. So again, very nice. Tesla was also in play. Again, just tons of stocks in play yesterday. This one, a beautiful opening range breakdown as well. You can see here the range, nice pullback, which is what you want to see. Gives you a better risk to reward. Drops down nicely, hits this level, and then continues to head lower. So again, just a beautiful drop on Tesla. And then you get this nice double bottom. Nice double bottom here. Again, usually double bottom, what you want it around here to retest this level. But this is a nice entry for a long, and you can see here how it pops. Really nice. All right, folks. And then LUV started hit the scanners later on in the day as it became very active in this area. But this one did not trade. All right, guys, that was the day yesterday. Let's get into some news, what we have this morning, how the SPY is moving. Norm, are you okay with getting ready to go with your mic?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. I clicked on and it lasted about 2 seconds and went out. So I tweaked some stuff and I'm working now. So all good to go.
Oh, perfect.
SPY's up almost, SPY's up almost 1/4% this morning. Second quarter first read on GDP just came out about 8 minutes ago. It was up 2.1%. They were estimating 1.9%, so it slowed a little bit, but it's above what they thought it would be. You can see we got a little bit 2 candles ago. We got a big doji on the SPY on that. It looks like it's starting to push a little bit higher. So it's always kind of unknown what that'll do because it's a little bit better than expected, and the superficial thought would be, well, that's a good thing. That should push up the market a little bit, but it might have some bearing on what happens with interest rate decisions when the Fed meets in just a few days next week. So, that's what's going on there. Once again, a number of companies' earnings coming out, and then, of course, beyond the meat, is almost at 238 as we speak right now, up 6.6% on news, I believe, that they're going to try to make bacon. So fake bacon.
Wow. That is just that is just amazing. Here's what we had in the chat room this morning. Again, just beyond the me to infinity and beyond. This thing is unbelievable. I also heard something where they're going to be working with Dunkin' Donuts. They might be getting added to their menu. That came out this week. I think it was on Stockwits or some other channel. Don't forget.
Sure.
So if that's true, that's going to, again, the buzz is just unbelievable on this stock.
Yeah. Every time they add one of these large restaurants to their repertoire, it's just going to pump up the stock even more. So I don't know. It's absolutely insane to me. I won't trade it. I mean, it's just, but for fear that at any moment the rug gets pulled out from under it, I sure do wish I'd have bought in the IPO at $25 or whatever it was, or
Oof.
when it opened at 45. But absolutely crazy.
Yep, definitely insane. All right, guys, let's get into it. Here's our gappers list. A lot of green on here, so that looks nice. We're gonna go over our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. I know we got some good ones here today. INTC, Twitter, Beyond the Meat, and I think this is McDonald's. So let's go through them. Let me remove this here. All right, here we go. So let's start over here with Beyond the Meat. Again, just a stock, and the float on this is very low. But it is a real company, so it's, even though it has a low float, it's not a company where, it's real. You can see it everywhere. It's starting to get pretty popular. So again, as Norm was mentioning earlier, this thing opened up around $40, and just look at the tearing up, just the charts here, up another this morning, up 6.8%, $15 since the close yesterday. 348,000 shares traded so far. But again, this is one of those stocks that I just stay away from. It trades very nasty. Yesterday, though, if you look at yesterday's chart, it looked like it went on a nice little clean run, right? Again, I don't know how the price action was because we did not have it on our list. But look at the candles. It looked like here was messy, right? So you don't want to trade this crap. But then here you got some nice little patterns going, finding out the moving average and trading up nicely. Again, looking at it after the fact, not know how that price action actually was trading and what the spread was, because this thing tends to be a little bit spready sometimes. So you got to be a little careful. Now that it's trading above $200, 237, the spread could be a little higher. That's okay. But when it was trading down here around 125, the spread sometimes was 50 cents to $1. So that's never good. So today, again, they're very active. They got some volume here. Nasty pre-market action. This is normal, but obviously this stock is definitely in play today. ATR.
And one thing I'll say about this, I can't remember what the spread initially was on Beyond the Meat. It's up to 38 million now, which isn't too low. And over the next several months, it'll continue to rise as lockup periods expire on the stock. So.
Yeah, also it is higher. I thought it was less than that. Oh yeah, so it's higher now, so that's good. I thought it was a lot less than that. Okay, so it's increasing there. All right, so we'll definitely keep that in mind. Here is Twitter, guys. So Twitter today is up 6.7. Do we have any news on Twitter this morning, Norm, or any earnings?
Yeah, Twitter released earnings this morning. So they've hit on a number of cylinders here. I believe they beat their estimate by just a little bit. They missed revenue, but their user growth was good. So that is what's putting it up this morning. I will say, I don't know if you've noticed on Twitter the last few days that people have really been complaining about their new UI on desktop. So I remember when, who was it? Was it Twitter? It was one of the social media platforms. Maybe it was I think it was Instagram, actually, a while back, updated their user interface, and people really complained, and it hit things pretty hard. So, keep it. I'm curious, and it's not anything to do with trading it today, but I'm curious what that might end up doing for the stock this quarter when they report next quarter.
Excellent. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Right now, Twitter has a very clean and nice pre-market action. Twitter, when it's in play, it can trade very well. When it's not, it can be a little choppy, but today's looks very clean. It's got some serious volume, guys. 4.5 million shares traded so far this morning. So again, one definitely worth watching today. INTC here is also in play, up 4%. I'm assuming earnings as well on this one. INTC.
Yeah. Excuse. I apologize.
No worries.
So Intel, yes, they did report yesterday afternoon, and had a good report. Semiconductors, chips have been in quite a tear recently. So some people, I've read a number of articles over the last week that people are concerned that run might come to an end. I don't know one way or the other, but I think they're a little bit premature in calling for the death of the chip run, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
And I have to point out that Lee W in the chat reminded me of who it was that changed their user interface. It was Snapchat, and it really hurt their stock, and that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so here again, just very active this morning. Got some good volume, 725,000 shares traded. Also, one that it was active actually several days this week. You had a nice day here, another one here as well. So again, very active. It's been in play. I think Kurt caught a few moves on this. Make sure you check out his recaps on YouTube. So today here we can see some volume, some activity, so definitely worth watching this morning. ABBV, this one, I don't like the way this one trades sometimes, but today it looks like we're got a little bit of volume, 171,000 shares traded. It is up slightly over 2%. It was just here, so it should be popping right back. Daily looks interesting though. We had this beautiful drop here a couple of weeks ago, and obviously gapped down nicely. We're trading around 78, drops down all the way almost $8 or $10 here or so. And then it just found this nice support. So it has this great area of support that we bounced from yesterday. It was not in play yesterday, but looks like it had some movement. And today we're bouncing back. So I'm not sure if this is just a technical move, Norm, or do we have any news that's causing this to pop higher today? It doesn't look like it is any news, just probably.
Yeah, they had earnings this morning as well. They beat earnings, they beat revenues, and they raised their guidance as well. So that's what's giving it a little bit of juice this morning.
Okay. Must still not be great, because I'm telling you, if you got good earnings and you only move this small here with not that much volume, it's probably still hurting from this drop here, whatever that was back then. So but again, it's got a good support towards the bottom. Let's check the pre-market action. Pre-market action is very choppy. This could be one that I drop off today. We got a lot of other stuff that's moving a lot more beautifully and also with a lot more volume. So this might be one that I don't keep this morning. MCD McDonald's, it is up 2%, 258,000 shares traded. I believe this is all-time high. Look at this trend. I mean, wow. Since February, just kind of catching these moving averages and just heading up nicely, going all the way from, what is this down here, 175, we're up to 218. So this has been on a tear for the last several days with some healthy pullbacks, but with an overall nice uptrend. Pre-market action right now looks decent. It's starting to get going here. Hopefully you can get more volume. It had great volume right here in this area, and you can see this nice movement. Now it's kind of flat, so hopefully the volume comes back. But it's up quite a bit. Earnings on this one as well, I am assuming.
Yeah, it was earnings this morning, and I think the big part of this was that their same-store sales growth increased more than expected. So that's always a good sign for one of these long-established, companies that has a massive base of, I think it's like 14,000 stores in the United States. So,
wow.
When you can get something like 6% growth or so, yeah, same-store sales growth, that's always showing positive for something that's as established as it is.
Absolutely.
And I guess people are still eating, real meat.
Yeah. Well, yep.
It's not Kobe.
As real as McDonald's can get, I guess. So here we have Starbucks. Starbucks is coming up on the scanners as well. This one is it has some movement. We looked at it earlier in the chat room. People were mentioning Starbucks, so it has gapped up 7%, almost 6.7. 116,000 shares traded, so not a lot of volume, but this stock is up quite a bit. I mean, there's a nice big pop here. Norm, what's the deal with Starbucks today?
They released earnings and last night, and they killed it on a lot of different fronts. Their U.S. growth was strong. Their emerging markets growth was strong, and people are a little bit worried about their China growth because of the trade wars and fearing some consumer backlash against the United States companies in China. On top of that, the ticker that we look at every once in a while, we've talked about it, LK, which is a fairly new 2-year-old Chinese company built to be a competitor of Starbucks in China. They were worried about that. So they killed it with those things, and hence the 6.7% increase as of this morning. I think it might have been up as high as 8% last night. Don't quote me on that, but I thought I saw that at some point.
Yeah, I can clearly see that here on this pop over here on last night after the close. Clearly, definitely hitting 8% easily, looks like. So again, up quite a bit here, guys. This is a stock that when it's in play trades very well. Doesn't move a lot much throughout the regular trading, but when it's in play, look at the activity you can get out of this one. Look at another nice pop over here. So again, we'll definitely watch this one. this morning. Let's go over NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. So SLS, we know that's a penny stock, nothing good there. VSTM, nothing happening here, penny stock as well. Don't be fooled by the volume and how much is popping. Usually these stocks are not really tradable. Already this one you can see it's been as high as $1.75, $1.80 almost, and then just now dropping again, not really tradable. And look at this nasty pre-market at activity. Now INTC, we have NASDAQ ATF, QQQ, how the markets are doing, opening up pretty flat right now. Not much going on there. Next we have SMSI. What we got going on here? So 510,000 shares traded. This is up 28%. We do got some good activity. Let's check what the flow is and what we have going on this one. So 24 million shares flow. So it is borderline on the low side, right, towards a low flow stock. But it does have some activity. It is trading slightly above the $4 mark here. Could be interesting. It's got to get better pre-market activity. Right now it's not looking too great. So if it can get a better pre-market activity, could be. I'm still going to put it down here. Again, it's 24 million shares flow, but it is a lower price stock, so you do need to treat it like a low flow, and you need to be very, very careful. So we'll put it down here for the low flow team. FCEL, penny stock, not tradable. Beyond the meat, we have not doing much right now, kind of pretty flat after a beautiful gap up this morning. AMD was not on our list yesterday. Let's see what what they did. AMD was not on our list yesterday. MU was not on our list neither. Again, we had so many other stocks that were trading well. So yeah, AMD just kind of pretty nasty, didn't do much. And now that we're in the conversation, let's just look at what MU did. Also very nasty. So no love from these two yesterday in the trading open. So let's look at SINT, not tradable. Next we have VOD. VOD is up 9.2. Now this one we looked at before. It looks like a foreign stock here. You can tell it's just a nasty daily chart, guys. Look how many gaps we have between each days. How nasty the candles look. Now we're a lot of body. You had a nice drop here. Now you have a nice pop. Again, with everything else we have here, other stocks like INTC, McDonald's, Starbucks, Twitter. This is one that I'm just gonna skip watching overall. So let's move down to. Go ahead.
It's a foreign company. It's a foreign company and has a tiny ATR, so it's not worth trading, really.
Yeah, not worth looking at. And also, I mean, again, we talk about how great it is to have these clean daily patterns, right? We talked about that when we had the example on the stock. What was it? I can't remember now. Well, the stock we discussed earlier this morning, how great it is to have those levels, right, and how they play out in the open. If you don't have a clean daily chart, you can't find those great levels, right? They could be open so many suggestions, so many different levels in here that just might not make sense. NASDAQ gainers, let's start with this column here. SNMY, we looked at it over here. Again, pretty active right now. It looks like it wants to crack out of the pre-market high at 470. Type TYPE, popping up 23%. Not great volume right now, still under 100,000. But the daily chart also looks nasty. It doesn't look like it trades very well, so I'm just going to skip this one. We got a lot of great stocks here in the green that with a lot of volume, so I'm excited to see how these are going to play out. EHTH, not looking great neither, no volume. HIIQ, nothing happening there. VSTM, we looked at already, nothing great. VOD, same situation. Flex, Flex is not doing anything here. GOOGs. So we have Alphabet here, which is Google. Again, just not doing much. Did they report it yesterday? They're up quite a bit here.
Yeah, they're up almost 9%. They reported pretty killer earnings last night, and their growth remains strong. It's up, and somebody asked in the YouTube chat about it. You know, I like trading higher price stocks, but when I say that, I'm talking about $150 to $300, not $1,200, $1,300, $1,700. So it's just not something I would trade, but not that it's not tradable.
Yeah, that's the thing too, and also you got to think about your buying power, right? If you tie up a lot of buying power in this type of stock, and another opportunity comes up, and then you can play that opportunity. So you gotta be careful with that as well. But again, it's a very high price stock, and I prefer to trade the smaller guys down here. What else we have? So that's that. They're popping up quite a bit. So you definitely put this on your list if this is your style of trading. So trading these high price stocks, put it on your list because it looks like it is active today. Next we have CCNI. So CCNI not doing much. Flex dropped down all the way down here, not really flexing too hard if it keeps dropping. And last one here, MAT. MAT is it's popping up 6%. We traded this one in the past. Just want to check what the flow is on this one. 344. Let me check the pre-market. Horrible pre-market activity. So we'll skip this one. We'll skip that one. All right, guys. So that's
pretty common for Mattel.
Yeah.
I've found it doesn't trade great. I know some people have traded it. They might disagree with me. I don't personally. It's not something I'm a huge fan of trading myself. But
yeah, it looks like they had several huge days back in the past here. It looks like we might have watched it here because I do have a level here. I don't remember trading this one, but it looks like there was some serious play here happening. This nice drop all the way from 16 to 14. But again, not one of my not one that looks great this morning. All right, folks, what do you guys have? Anything other than what we have here this morning that you might like? Norm, how's your top 4 looking today?
Not super exciting or interesting. They kind of gave back some gains that they'd made a couple of days ago yesterday. NVIDIA specifically is starting to pull back down a little bit. It got up, I believe, right above 179.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't trading that day, so I don't know the exact number, but it was close to 179.
Yep.
It's pulled back about 5 points since then. We've got the 9 moving average on the daily coming up. See if that serves as support around 172.50-ish or so. Also got the 20 about to cross the 200 on the daily. Roku's got tiny volume this morning. Facebook, on my eye on that. It's kind of been trading well the last few days. They've got some of this regulatory probes, we'll call it, going on with them and talk about that. So I'll keep my eye on them. I don't know that I see anything super interesting at this point. Probably Facebook would be my number one to look at this morning, followed by NVIDIA.
Yeah, Facebook and NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA's got that look. Is they can bounce from here because you got a very nice area of support that was resistance before in the past. You can see clearly right in here and here. So maybe you can hold this here with the moving average also coming towards the bottom there. So that can possibly help. All right, guys, what do you guys have on your end? So VSTM, we looked at that one, and this one, again, just doesn't look great, guys. It's got some serious volume to 916 is up 10%. But if you just look at the price action and pre-market activity, I do not like the way this is trading. Can it give you a nice pop? It has done it before, right over here. But the way we have our watch list today with all these other stocks that are in have a better criteria, better pre-market activity, better daily chart. This is one that we don't need to watch today. Preferably, we have other stuff better to watch. Let's look at GT. I see that being mentioned as well. GT's gap down. So what do we have on GT? The Goodyear tire. All right. So I like the daily. It's got a nice, because you got a nice level coming up here, right? So the daily looks interesting here. It doesn't move much. It doesn't trade very well. It's one of those huge stocks. It kind of reminds me of like a GE. Don't move a lot. So you got a nasty consolidation happening here. I'm assuming their earnings didn't go well if they had earnings.
Yeah, you're right. That's correct.
All right. So it could be one to watch today. Again, their ATR is okay. It's not that low, 46 cents. It looks like they're dropping nicely, hopefully getting towards this level here. So you know what? It could be a possible. We'll throw it on here. I'm not sure how this one trades. I never traded it before, so it'll be interesting to see what we can get out of there. Next, we have CARB. So CARB, also a huge drop. Wow, 23%. Not much volume trading here just yet. What do we have? Anything? Is all-time low? What's going on with this one here? Whoops. There we go. So not sure what the situation is here. Dropping down quite a bit. Doesn't have not all-time low. We have some prices here going back to 2016, 2017 within that range. Pre-market activity right now, guys, is not looking great. I do love the daily, though. I got to tell you, this is a nice big drop. We can go back to 2017 and get those levels in here, mark them down. But right now, pre-market activity is not looking all that great. So I'll throw it down here as a possible, but most likely I'm not going to watch this one at the open. We can always tune into it or look for it in our scanners. Next, we have Tesla. Tesla, all right. What we got going on with Tesla? Tesla is interesting. Yeah, it's in a very interesting spot, right? Even right now in the pre-market, right? You got this level, the low of yesterday. If it can crack from there, you got a nice moving average coming up. I believe that is the 50. Yeah, it's the 50. So it's in an interesting spot, right? It was doing a nice little run here. It just got killed on this drop. Again, you can get some kind of continuation today on here, but again, don't be surprised if it can hold this level of support, because if you go back and you draw a line right on here, you can see where that was previous support, right? Gap down here, sold off and bounced back, and now it can retest that and head higher. So don't have a bias if you're going to watch this one today. I'm gonna skip it. Actually, we'll throw it down here for a possible, but I'm probably not going to add it to my final list. All right, anything else, guys? AMD is getting active. Let's take a look at AMD. We'll look at PCG and YNDX next. So AMD is getting active. AMD's daily is interesting because you got a nice little pop here, gapping up almost 2%. Hopefully can break. It's got a lot of resistance up here though. So if it can break out of that though, this is a possibility of hitting that 35 range, whatever high this is. That could be a possibility. It is getting active. It is starting to make some movements here. So we'll keep an eye on it. But again, if I find better stocks up here, I'm probably not going to look at it. Then let's do two more, YNDX, and then we'll do PCG. So YNDX is not really starting to get going, but the pre-market activity is not there yet. I do like that is, it has a nice little pop now. It's about up 5%, getting through all these moving averages here and levels. So that's nice. The daily chart is not clean though. I don't like it's not as clean, but we have traded this one in the past, and we've been able to get some good movements out of it. But since the action is so crappy right now in the pre-market and not great volume, we'll have to skip on this one because we have a lot here that look great. So we can't watch everything. It's way too many. And then last one, PCG. And if we have time at the end, we can watch a few. We can go over a few more. PCG, not much activity right now. What's going on with this one? Yeah, opening up pretty flat right now, sitting right at a level of support. So if it can hold here, it would be nice. If it loses that, you have the possibility of hitting some of these areas down here. But right now, I don't see much going on in regards to PCG. All right, guys, let's get into announcements, and then we'll come back to this list, find some levels. And if we have time at the end, we'll look at some other ones like LK you guys are throwing out here, MU, XP, E as well. All right, take it away, Norm.
Sure. So last night you wrapped up a full slate of classes and we had a lifetime webinar. So
yes,
recordings to classes are always posted, but the lifetime will be posted for lifetime members here pretty soon, I would imagine. Meetups, July 27th, Pasadena. So that is tomorrow. William will be there buying you drinks. Don't have to be a member if you want to come out and talk about trading and such. Come see him. There are links on Facebook and the forum posted in the alerts above. And if Abiel could post those on YouTube as well, that would be great. And then August 2nd next week is the Phoenix meetup. Links for that as well are posted above. Then we've got our next Ask Me Anything next Thursday, August 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a chat with William and talking to Jeremy Newsom from Real Life Trading. If you have not seen his previous interview on YouTube, be sure to check it out. It's I think it's about 36 minutes long, and it's worth every minute of it. It really was a great piece of content that William put out with Jeremy. Today, 3 o'clock Eastern, last hour of the market. In the chat room will be Kurt's Friday fireside chat, talking about FOMO, what it is, and how to overcome it. And I think that is it. Carlos, let me know if I'm wrong, but
no,
other than the normal administrative stuff of please keep posting off-topic stuff, and the off-topic save the main chat for only stock ideas, trading ideas, setups, and so forth. Anything about platforms, brokers, commissions, stuff like that, please post me off topic and we'll get to that, or any site specific questions or anything like that. And if you're watching on YouTube and you have not watched us before, if you have not watched us, if you have not been in the room before us trading all day, please feel free. You give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can use the promo code PREMARKET24, no spaces, PREMARKET24 for a discount off 1 week trial that does not renew.
Excellent. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's go over what we have here on our list. So BYND obviously in play today. Not my style of stock to trade. I don't like the way this one trades. I don't like the way the way it is to manage your risk. Is very difficult for me personally. So we have the high of the pre-market sitting at 245.96, low of the pre-market sitting at 234. Obviously, this is a new all-time high. Had a great big day yesterday, which actually looked pretty clean compared to how it normally trades. If you look at the intraday here, it climbed up very nicely, hitting the moving averages and getting to a beautiful, nice trend trade. So we are definitely going to see something out of it today. It can head back down here and head back to these levels, or who knows, it can continue to head higher. Whatever you decide to do on it, be very careful, manage your risk appropriately. Remember, this has a huge ATR. I think today might be over $10 on the ATR, actually $10 exactly on the ATR. I was at 7, and then over the last couple of days, again, this here is a 14-day average. The last couple of days with this pop here, it has increased $3 on the ATR. So be very, very, very careful. Also, if you're trading it, look out for the spread. The spread sometimes can be very nasty on here, so be on the lookout for that. So I'm removing it from my list, guys, but definitely one that is going to be fun to watch today if it can trade well. Twitter, on the other hand, Twitter is nice, gapping up pretty nice here this morning. 6.3. It's got some serious volume. I mean, 4 million shares traded so far, heading towards 5. With high of the pre-market 40.98. And I like this high right here. You can see it was the high a couple of weeks ago, months ago, actually, back in May. Is that all-time high? I'm not sure it is. I want to see if I can find a level above this. Here we go, going back to this May, June, July time frame. Nasty daily chart up here. A lot of strong resisting at the tops. It's very top. You couldn't break out of that. So I'm going to mark down here 46.89, and then also this area here, and I'll tell you why I'm going to mark this 44.28. So 44.28 was the last top that we had after this consolidation period. So I want to have that on my charts. And also, if you look closely into this range, once it popped out of this resistance here, it created this range here back and forth between 46.89 and 44.28. So I want to have that on my list. And then slightly above the price action now, I am going to mark the next level of possible support and resistance around 42.41. You can see it when it broke out of this 42.28 here, the few days that it did, it comes right to this 44.41 and bounces back. That's a nice bounce there. Here as well, just testing it. And then here, obviously something happened and it gapped down nicely, you know, just blowing through all these levels of support and resistance. Now let's go back towards the bottom. We have a very clean area right on here on 39. You can see several days testing that 39 area. I want something in between here, and the reason why this is not the best, strongest, cleanest daily level, but I'm going to put this on here because if I take this short, I want to have an area where I can gauge my risk to reward, right? So you got several days opening and closing and bouncing from this 39.93. Again, not the strongest daily level, but for me personally, if I trade this short, I want to have that on there to calculate some good possible risk to reward. So Twitter is nice, got some great volume, now hitting 5 million shares. Pre-market activity is also looking very decent for Twitter, right? So don't let this candle fool you, because these are, again, messes up the chart and it looks all flat. But if you zoom in and you get that out the way, you can see how nicely it's trading also on the 1 minute. You can see how beautiful that is for pre-market action. So let's watch that one. INTC. INTC here is also very, very nice, guys. Again, up 3.2, 1.1 million shares traded. This is also very nice this morning. High of the pre-market 55.07. Low of the pre-market looks like it's about to crack it. We'll mark it down, but we might have to readjust it. 53.82. All right, so we'll mark that down there. Now let's go back and get a level towards the top. If we zoom in here, we can see above the pre-market high, we have an area right in here. I'll zoom in a little more so we can get a better look. So just zooming in here, we have 56.21. See an area cleared of resistance and then possible support. And then the next top, just in case we can get some movements out of this, 57.27. Now let's zoom in and go towards the downside. So towards the bottom, you have the high from 2 days ago, right around 53, this area here. And I think that's good enough. I don't think you need to have anything in between there. Yeah, that's actually a very, very good support. I don't think you need to have any more at that point. So right now it looks like it's dropping, giving some profits back. So let's see what it can do at this low of the pre-market 53.82. Can it hold or will it break down? ABBV, I'm not going to watch this one. I don't like the way this one trades. I do like the way it's very close to this last area of support. Right, it comes right back down here. It bounced from here, and you also have some earnings today. Popped up quite a bit, but looks like it might be giving some of it back. So this is what we'll do. We'll have our levels ready in case we get surprised with some good pre-market action at the open on our scanners. Low of the pre-market 67, high of the pre-market 69.38. Now, aside from these two levels, towards the bottom you have plenty. Do not need to add anymore. Plenty of levels down here, and then between this one here, right, the next high, the high from yesterday and the day before, hanging around right around 68. Between here and here, that's a big gap, right? So I tend to want to find something in between here. You have a moving average on there as well, but that's very close to this 68. So I'm going to mark down these 3 days right on here, 68.75. I'm going to mark that down just in case it heads higher. That'll be an area that I'll be looking for any kind of resistance. And actually, you know what? Even better, this one here is actually a lot better, guys. Correction. And why? Because every day is opening and closing around this 68.54. You have this day almost testing it here, and then I almost missed this day right here. Look, that's a beautiful bounce from that 68.54. So let's correct that. Let's put it here. That's a better area of a level. The way this is trading now, I do not like it, so I'm gonna remove it. And I'm gonna go over to the next one. Let's look at what McDonald's is doing. So again, McDonald's here is up 2%, decent volume, 298,000 shares traded. A little higher price stock. I like those stocks between that 20 to 120 the most. Maybe between 20 and 80 is like my sweet spot. But we'll keep an eye on this one today. High of the pre-market 220 with 20 cents, and then we have a level right here, the high of this consolidation period, 216.26, and then towards the bottom you have the low and highs from the last two trading days, and which are very close to the low of the pre-market, so I'm not going to mark that down. Then also keep in mind you have this moving average. There's a lot of support coming towards the bottom. If we lose the previous day close, it's also in here. If we lose that, you have another level here, the low from the last 2 days, which is a very interesting and strong level, because you have, on top of it being the low for the last two trading days, you also have good confirmation over the last couple of days of that level around 212. So that is McDonald's right now. Pre-market actions looking so-so. Again, we talked about it earlier. Looked great from here to here with the volume, and then it's just kind of dying down now. But it is a nicey stock. Usually they tend not to have the greatest pre-market activity. So we'll see what we can get out of that. Starbucks is also very nice. I do like Starbucks very much. We do have shares for short. It is looking a little I'm seeing a little short in a short bias point of view right now. But again, let's not have any bias as we open the trading day. High of the pre-market 97.33. The low of the pre-market sitting at right at the price action 96.16. So let's see what it does, if it can hold, or are we going to lose it in this area. We tested it a few times in the close yesterday. You can see here after the close it was tested several times, so it might hold. Who knows? Then below this, right below this, the next one, the most recent one, is all the way down here, heading around 91.50. Do we have anything else nearby? Are we all-time high? Let's see what's the issue with well, not the issue, what's the situation with Starbucks. Yeah, I think we're all-time high, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. I should get that information on here. So way to put it on here, this way I don't have to scroll back, but sometimes I like scrolling back just to look at the history. Why not? All right, that all-time high, amazing. So again, you have no levels, no moving averages. This is it, guys. This is all you have here. In this situation, you wanna be careful, and you wanna watch for the whole dollars, right? So like a 95 will be an area you want to keep an eye on. The 95 50-ish area, right? You want to watch out for that. 94. All these areas can possibly play an area of support and resistance, so be on the lookout for that. Same thing towards the top, 98, 99. That's something you want to be on the lookout for, because since the traders are going to be watching this, don't have anything else to look for, that is what they're probably going to be paying attention to. All right, GT. So GT at the moment continues to drop. We do have a low here from a couple of weeks ago, back in June at 13.29, so that's nice. Holding the pre-market action right now at 13.50, so it's been testing it several times here. Let's see if it can bounce from there. High of the pre-market, not worth noting, because again, it's right at the previous day close, so don't need to mark that down. Let's look at the next area of resisting towards the top. So this area here is the last one that we see, 14.44. You can also see how that played a support here, resistance here, and support as well. Then below that, there's a nice one right on here at 13.97, very close to 14. You can actually put it at 14 if you like as well. But you can see here on this drop, you get the hesitation right here. Does not sell off. Then you have the drop down. On the way back up, you have resistance and then support, gaps up. Tests that 13.97 before it heads higher, and then look at this candle here, right back testing that 13.97 before it heads back up in that same day. So that's a nice one there. Now for Goodyear, I'm gonna check. Is this all-time low? This is pretty low. At least 52-week low looks like. Yeah, this is not all-time low, but this is pretty low for the recent times. So if we go back here, let's look at something good below this 13. Again, 13.24 is the low that we have from June of this year. Let's see if we can find some good daily levels here. I like this one here. It's a very clean 12.94, and then I'm gonna do one more towards the bottom. I think that should be enough. Oh, what the heck, we'll do this one too because it's just so clean. So we have 13.57 and 11.91. All right, so plenty of levels towards the bottom here. Let's see what it's going to do. Again, you can see here, very clean level here. Next one, 12.94. Hopefully we can get something out of that. We do have shares for short, and then towards the top you have these two great levels that are in the recent time frame. All right, so that is Goodyear. Let's pick out the best out of this one. Andrew's getting ready to hop on, so I'm just gonna quickly look through here. I thought there was one. Yeah, let's look at this one before we hand it off to Andrew. So we have SMSI. Again, the float on this one is 24, I believe. So it's not a low float, but you do have to be careful. It is a lower price stock. I know a lot of you guys on YouTube were asking for the analysis on this one. So we have the high of the pre-market at 475. Low of the pre-market sitting at 387. Let's go back real quick and see how this stock has reacted around this price range, or has it ever been up here? So if we scroll back. All right, so we do have some areas of levels and support right in here. So towards the top of the price action now, guys, you have 536, high of the pre-market. Then towards the bottom, you have this beautiful level here, guys, 436. Look how it's tested several times here, and here. And then look at that 387, which is the low of the pre-market now. Look how that was support in this area here, and as well as resistance. So that's what we have on SMSI. Again, be very careful with this one. A lot of volume right now. It is not a low flow stock, but it is on the lower side. So be careful with the price action. Make sure you manage your risk correctly. Guys, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Have a great Friday. Trade safe. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Trade safe. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, you want to give a shout out?
There might be some questions into YouTube as well. So if people on YouTube have any question, feel free to answer that.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So let's check here.
All right. So for me, Gapper's watch list, it's just everything is popping up positively. Well, Google is a higher price. I'm not going to look into that. HIIQ, health insurance gapping up 16%. I love the price range. So this is going to definitely make my watch list. It's a lower float stock. It's 8 million shares float, but it seems reasonable to trade. I do have shares for short as well, 55,000 shares with Interactive Brokers. So HIIQ will kind of, Intel is popping higher, selling off in the pre-market, but definitely seems very interesting. Beyond gapping up 6%. Wow, that was the earning on Beyond, huh? This thing is unstoppable. I don't have shares for sure, unfortunately, on Beyond. Starbucks is popping higher, 6%. So people drink coffee. That seems like a fact these days. Low of the pre-market is at 96. So I want to watch that for sure. Oh, it's on Monday? Oh, okay, yeah. So sorry, I didn't share my screen. Yes, you're right. You are absolutely right. So yeah, Beyond, but be careful on Beyond. Overall, this thing is like a beast. So Twitter is gapping up 6%. Yeah, in terms of levels, yeah, we have a bunch of levels around. Yeah, still those levels are valid. Twitter used to be very choppy. I'm not sure if it's still would be or not. And MGM is popping higher 5.2%. Yeah, does not look amazing, but we have that level here. The next level that we have down there is 30.21, and if you want to go back on this thing, yeah, right now we're sitting at the level. So that's that would be my watch. Let me see what other people is doing. Starbucks, Intel, McDonald's, SMSI. That one is good. SMSI. Float on SMSI. It's 24 million shares float. It's popping higher, much higher now. But back in time, what do we have? Yeah, I think we have the possibility of popping higher towards 535-ish. Yeah. Yeah, SMSI is interesting. We can definitely take a look at that. SMSI. ABBV. Brian is looking at ABBV. That one is up 2.4%. Yeah, kind of ABBV is kind of iffy. I don't want to look into that. Yeah, that would be for me then. I think for me that would be on watch. Pretty much everyone watch this has a lot of things. Starbucks, Twitter, and MGM. Lower floats that we're looking at, SMSI and HIIQ. So yeah, so having these stuff, so it's good to start putting them on different screens. The MGM, MU is over there. Intel Corporation. We have Twitter. Market must have been gapping up. SPY, yeah, SPY is gapping up. So obviously, Starbucks, MGM, and yeah, perfecto, guys. So how's everyone doing this morning? Trading ban in yeah, I'm actually doing trading ban on AMD as well. So I'll just trade AMU for now. Yeah, that was a hydration drop, but I just didn't have it. It was empty. So after my surgery, after LASIK, I have to just keep it hydrated. But yeah, it wasn't.